Hey, hey, hey. It is me, Mona Nairi, here again to teach you something that I had to learn the hard way myself, so that way you can take the time off of the learning curve and get to the results that you want, the results that I started to desire faster than me. So today's topic is, how do you love yourself? So many of us say that we hate ourselves or we dislike certain parts about ourselves, and other people are utterly in love with themselves. And those who don't have that level of self-love and wholeness within inside of themselves wonder how it is you obtain that self-love. I know I did, coming from somebody who hated myself, who was knocking on death's door, wanting to commit suicide, to somebody who's full of life and is still learning to fall deeper in love with myself every day. But the first thing that you're gonna need to do, and let me show you what step number one is to finding self-love. And that is defining it. And step two, what I'm gonna talk to you guys about next is, what does it look like and what falling in love with pain means. So number one, define it. You can't go after something if you don't know what it is. You don't have that map. And that's what definitions do. They allow you to have the map to say, self-love to me equals unconditional compassion, understanding. It equals warm feelings and good thoughts. Whatever self-love equals to you, and it's gonna be different from person to person. So define it for yourself. And then, once you know it, and you can recite your definition of what self-love is over and over and over again with ease, then you're ready to say, hey, what does it look like? What actions do I have to take, does somebody have to take to express my definition? So now you have not only the destination of the self-love, because you know once you feel a certain way, once you reach that definition, it's yours. Since you know that, excuse me guys, had to replay the music, but once you have that definition, you know what it looks like, you know what it is, and you're saying, okay, here are the steps to get to that definition. Here's the goal, here's the plan, here are the action steps. This is what has to happen. And the more and more you start taking those actions towards yourself, the love will happen. So before I jump into, you have to fall in love with pain, and that's the next thing that you have to do to love yourself, is explain the first two with my own story. So for me, love is unconditional understanding. It is sympathy, self-sympathy, and a compassion and encouragement for yourself. What does that look like to me? Well, encouragement means setting new goals for myself. Anytime I'm bored, setting a new goal, thinking of what life is gonna look like for me in the future. That's encouraging myself to do better when I do bad. The sympathy and the compassion comes in with, no matter what I do, remembering to treat myself the way I would treat other people. So the more I treat myself the way I would treat other people in a loving situation, and the more that I encourage myself and pick myself up and am there for myself, I've become to cultivate that self-love, because I'm taking the actions that line up with my definition. Now, falling in love with pain. This is the hardest thing. We do a lot of things to protect ourselves, and the reason you probably don't have self-love is because you're protecting yourself from pain, from external disappointments of other people. Or nobody's shown you love, so you have no idea what that looks like, and it hurts. How other people showed love to you. Hurt people, so now you're projecting that, or you're projecting that inwardly to yourself, and you just keep hurting you. You have to fall in love with pain, because pain is inevitable in any part of life. But what's not is suffering. So confront the pain, embrace the pain, love the pain, grow from the pain, encourage yourself up and out of the pain. I mean, that's my version of self-love. But there is no love without pain. Pain is inevitable. Things happen. But you know what's not? Is suffering. And self-hatred is the biggest form of suffering there is. So comment below what love means to you, because I want to know. And what does it look like? Because I want to know. And I invite you to follow these steps. Define what self-love is to you. Ask yourself, what does it look like? And how? Start thinking about how you can fall in love with pain. Because if pain's inevitable, and suffering, which is the continuation of that pain, is a choice, what do you choose? And how do you choose it? Peace.